write it down, so I'm going to inspect it all for myself. But you know, we're so delighted tonight. By the way, before I introduce our wonderful opener, we had for a long time, actually, well, about half an hour or more, His Excellency Matthias Hunfner, I have to remember how to pronounce it, the German ambassador here amongst you, actually. I don't know if any of you met him. He's a lovely man, very elegant, nice suit. And back again. Charmed him. Oh, yeah. And it's very hard to charm Germans, you know. And anyway, but they are quite charming themselves once you get to know them. Anyway, I also see our great friend Frank MacDonald here, of course. I don't know what he's up to at the moment, but he's always up to something. And he's going to beat Vincent Brown with the biography of CJH, I think.
Oh God!
No.
Do you need to write that?
No. Well, actually, Vincent Brown, you know, made all the trip to. I know you're in a hurry, Sean, but.
Keep it going,
But he made the trip down to Kilreading this year, and as you know, Mary has been down to Kilreading in the project. And he came down with his lovely brother, who I think is a monk or something. And he actually, he came down anyway to ask me to help him to remember, you know, stories about Terry and Charlie and the whole lot. And so I said, what about the 7,500 you owe me? He said, what? I said, do you remember when we took that libel case against McGill many years ago when I was in? I said, that was the magazine, you know. But anyway, we forgave him. As I said, dog doesn't eat dog, you know, when I was in the publishing business. But anyway, we have been charmed with Mary Tritschler. I think this is the most amazing exhibition. I love it. And by the way, I have to tell you, when OPW bought the first painting today, they said actually, and I don't know if there's anybody else here from OPW, but they said, you know, sometimes a connection can be dark, you know, but this is what light, and of course you call it chink of light, and I know it's been a recurring theme with you, this kind of chink of light, and that's what we need in our life, isn't that true? Yeah. And I'm going to introduce you now to the best chink of light of all, Mr. Sean O'Leary.
I'm not even going to attempt to follow that. Talk about having to charm Germans. Sorry? I was trying to weave some narrative around that comment. I'm sure now that at this moment, perhaps Angela Merkel knows already, you know, the fact that we don't work and have charm Germans. There's something building up here in the sidelines. So anyway, I leave the question of who writes the biography of Charles J. Haughey to other people at this point. I am honoured, deeply honoured to be asked to be here, and forget about the illustrious stuff. I'm here as a friend of Mary and Martin.
Thank you, Sean.
And I have to share one memory. My most warmest memory of Mary's company is her food. And that's said simply as a simple Irishman, an astonishingly nourishing woman, and you could see every part of her persona, but ultimately reflected in this extraordinary work, which I'll come back to at the moment. But as you do, you think about everything when you have something like this, and you forget everything. And in some ways that's the nature of art, because it does help us to remember everything and forget everything. But equally, I was talking the other night about a movie which some of you may remember. It was called Amarcord by Federico Fellini. An extraordinary movie, and probably a movie that appeals to people of a certain age and who are getting older. And Amarcord apparently is the local dialect around Rimini, where I remember. And Fellini was an extraordinary genius, but he he said something which I still treasure as something that's both reinforcing and true. He said that art is an autobiography. And he said that the pearl is the autobiography of the oyster. Which I think is a lovely, lovely image of both the artistic process and of life in many ways. And I suppose I was looking at Mary's biography, and you look at things like, she taught art at the Ursuline convent in Waterford. And if you didn't know her, you'd conjure up an image of an art teacher at the Ursuline convent in Waterford and what she looked like. They got dispatcher to history, So we know exactly what she was like. And then she's throwing pots with Simon Pearce and other people in the early days. And then she goes off to Germany. And it's interesting enough, I discovered by small bit of investigation, her maiden name is Kavanagh, so she's a native, And unlike her husband, she was speaking fluent German to the German ambassador. And to my memory, she was charming him as well, which he can be charming. But I was talking about her mentor, Marcus Dubertz, tonight, and inevitably you do investigate people like that. You get onto Google and say, who are they? And he claims to be a jazz pianist. No, I do too, but I'm really bad one. But she said I'm probably much better than him. So I feel much better already. Her mentor is a lousy jazz pianist, and I'm much better than him. So I feel much better already for that. But I think that if you're looking at the idea of a pearl and an oyster, I think what all of us can reflect on tonight is just how meaningful that is, not just in achievements like tonight's exhibition, which I think, by common claim, the sense of getting around this room is one of joy, one of rejoicing, one of, I think the comment thing made by the OPW was some of the absence of colour in the national collection. And the Kilreely work with its evocation of big skies, I think Des McMahon, my colleague, pointed out that nobody captures that. But what I'm struck by most of all is the command and confidence of this work, and I suppose the extraordinary capacity to command a way of evoking what is by and large our scenes of nature, which have gone through a process, obviously, of technical process of achievement, and somehow finish off being able to be read at every level, from joyful rides of colour to being almost as gracious and as subtle as Japanese calligraphy. And I'm seeing a lot of that in the way I'm reading the paintings. And what I didn't expect was the scale of the work, right? Because my memory of seeing Mary's first work was at a humbler scale. And that was probably my ignorance. She probably has been working at this scale. But the command of canvas like that does take huge confidence and ability. And what I see here is that translation of, I suppose, the evolution of the pearl. We are looking at a pearl, or an oyster, who perhaps has not fully evolved. The pearl is yet to become, which will take many years. So I'm deeply honoured to be here. The Renaissance in Waterford, I think, will continue because she's there, and her generosity of spirit, and that of Martin as well. I think they're now gracing Dunmore East, which I think will probably become something of a spiritual home, and will probably already, I think, is featuring some of the work here, Mary, if I'm not mistaken. Kilreely obviously has been a great inspiration to you, and again, thanks to you and all the other people you've helped along the way, Noel, tonight. The only thing I'm wondering about is why the Jackie Healy Ray and his brother weren't here trying to get selfies to make it happen. I think they're having a party down the road tonight. So what I want to simply say is that we haven't actually seen the full quality of the pearl that's evolving here tonight. I would just like to thank you for asking me to share this moment with you. This is, I always regard this as something of a ritual. It is a ritual. Guys like me are asked to say the Gubla Fokker of the say words. I'll just finish now saying thank you very much. Rejoice and share, and thank you for allowing me to share this great moment, and enjoy, and most of all, bye. With the work. Okay? Thank you very much.
Hello? Yeah, there you are. Now, I'm sure you might like to say a few words to your friends and compatriots.
Well, thank you very much. And for the first